Guys, starting up the stream one last time as I go through and finish off this game for the night. So I've gone through, for those who are interested, you can check out the game over on the Jam. I'll make sure that I go through and add that there. Let's do that real quick. Add that to the stream. This is going to be the final, final little piece of the stream. So let's go through and update that. So that's down in the description below. You can find the link there. Change that real quick. There we go. So you can find out that link there. Okay. So now we have that all situated. Yeah, art's pretty bland and generic. I'm not, really able to do all that much, sadly. But let's go through now and finish this up. Here's the game so far for what we have. We've got our animated water. I need to get some water animation there. I also want to add in lava. So a few quick things I'm going to do. So originally what I had gone through and done was I had manually checked for that. We're going to go through and add tile properties now. So what we want is we'll want to come up here and I'm going to make this a struct. It's going to have properties boolean wavy, and that's basically going to signify whether this is wavy, and then what this is going to be is going to be tile properties, and we're going to come down to here, std unordered map int properties, tile properties. We'll be able to go through and do all of that. So when we load it here, what we'll want to do is we'll want to go through and do a tile properties t temp props, and that'll be false by default. And what we'll do, and you'll see this in a second, is insert temp props pair, and this will be changed to properties T, so we have our name there, and then we'll have our temp props, and then if temp props dot wait, and then what we can do is be able to so we have tile data, iterator, value, and then so if we come in here right now, our prop tiles all have this. what we're going to do is we are going to do value and then this is, well, let's do this. As member, and this is where we're going to check for don't know if it's considered a member or not. I think it is though. So has member, and what we're checking for is wavy. So we're going to say if it has that, then props wavy is true. We're not really going to check what, well, I guess we can do that. Get bool. Is bool, then we set that there, so we can do that, and then if it's wavy, we'll do that, and so now what we can do, 2, so there's that. That we don't need. So there's all of that, and then here we'll do is we will do if properties tile wavy. And of course we can come through and clean this up a bit as well. Make this a little nicer. Now, if we do that, nothing should be wavy for right now, but we can make it wavy. So now what we'll do is come here, and we're going to come to our grounds. We're going to do custom property wavy. It's going to be true. And then come here, wavy, true, again, wavy, true. That should work now. Oops. Check here. tile sets. And then array. And then there we go. Uh-oh. Tile properties. Map file doc. As member try that again. Okay, so that works now, so let's give this a shot. Okay. So Juiz Online asked why std2string is not working. Probably it could be because of the version of C++ you're using. Because you're using MinGW. You could look into A to I. That would be the other idea that I would have. I'm not really sure. I generally stick with Visual Studio because it works pretty well, but that would be my best guess, honestly, is to go with something, to look into that, yeah. Oh, why aren't you working? Okay, and then, so what we'll do, That's why it's not working. So basically, it's not a Boolean, so it can't detect that. I don't really have a way to add that in, so I'm not going to worry about it even. So if it's there, it's going to be true. We'll lose some flexibility on values and such, but it'll work for the most part, and it'll make it easier when we're trying to add in animated tiles later on. So now we can do the same thing with good old lava. Let's go through and do that real quick. Wavy, true. Wavy, true. And wavy, true. So now we can go through and let's update this level just a little bit. Let's see here. So we can do as well. We can even go through and make this a little nicer and be able to handle collisions like that. So what we can do is we can do that, do int ID, which will be the tile ID for it. So we will have that be this right here. So that'll let us get the IDs of those, and then check collision will instead return that. Properties, and then wait for that to error, and then we can come over here and what we'll be able to do now is do int group equals, and now we can come up here and we can do different tile groups. So we can do type find new tile groups. Ground is equal to, we'll go say 1. So this will make a lot easier to define grounds and stuff. Here and again, grounds. And in this case, that'll be water. Here, make that water. And then we're going to need to update the mob as well, if I'm not mistaken. Nope, bullet. last thing we'll also want to do is add in a none. And we'll come here. We will do change that to no group. Instead. Is we want to say if this is 0, we return one thing, otherwise that. Okay. Okay, so now that we've got that, we need to come here to the properties, and we need to make sure that when it's loaded, that it loads those properties as well. So group. So in this case, then we take that and we take that group, set it there. There's that. There's that. That group. Nope, wrong place. Okay, cool. So now, let's come through here. give this a shot. Cool. So now what we can do is we can go through and quickly select all of these, give them the ground property. And this will let me go through and quickly create all the levels. Much quicker than before. Okay. That out. Oh. This group, and then this is going to be ground. Now hopefully that'll work fine. Yep. Now a big thing we'll have to do as well is go through and change up for the water now. Group 2. Now we have our water. So our water works. You can see our ground is all set up. And of course we can go through and add even more, so now let's go through and add in lava. So lava is going to be 3, so take these here, those are wavy, and then those are going to have a group of 3. We'll put some, so let's go through now and design this level a little bit more, a little bit better. So what we're going to do is we're going to have the water come down like that. And we're going to have this here be like that. Then that. Secret area guy there. down here, we'll put the lava here. Erase this. Okay, so let's go through and give that a test run through, just to make sure everything's working. So now, if we go through, we have our nice wavy water there. Come down here, talk to him. You can see we have this nice, nice little thing there. Of course, right now you'll notice that we can't die in that, so we're going to go through and we're going to fix that. First, you got to remember we have to delete our save file because of the fact that it is now corrupt because we're in an invalid position. So, what we're going to do is we are going to make it so that if we land on the lava, we basically want to, what I want to have it do is have it flash red 3 times, and then I want to have him like bounce off of it type effect. So what we're going to do for this, so, this map, check collision, this down, and we get the group is equal to the lava. And what we're going to do is we're going to set the, we're going to first off make him bounce up. So what we're going to do is we are going to, if you'll remember correctly, there is, oh, where is it? Where's his ground collisions? Ah, here it is. So right here we have our jump. No, that's not our jump. There's our jump. We have that. So we're going to want to just basically copy that, and that's going to make us bounce off. And then what we're going to do is set our velocity.x, and that's going to be times equals -2. We'll see how that works. In theory, what that should do is bounce us up and then bounce us back. And what we're going to do to make testing a little bit easier is we're going to add some very simplistic lava right here. Now this might mean that we're already on top of it, so we'll see. So that kind of works. The big thing is that we're not bouncing quite enough. So what we're going to do is minus out like 5. And that's going to give us a nice, we want it to get basically an arc. So we really have, I really should be using a cosine for this. It's equal to, and that's going to really bounce us up there. So you've got that nice bounce to it now. Now what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to basically bounce back in the opposite direction we're going. And we're going to let players kind of abuse this. This is going to be a little bit trickier. Well, actually, maybe not. So what we're going to do is we're going to do this. Entity flip. So these were originally private. Now we're going to make them protected, because what we're going to do is we're going to actually go through and check whether we're flipped horizontally or vertically, and then we're going to multiply that by negative like 5. We'll see how that works. And actually, we don't want to do that, because that's between 0 and 1. We want to do a Boolean. So if we're flipped, we're going to go -5. Otherwise, we're going to go 5. And actually, that should be 5, then -5. Because if we're flipped, we want to go to the right, and if we're not flipped, we want to go to the left. Notifications. So, let's see here. We need like a damage velocity almost. That's not a bad idea actually. What we can do, and this will be kind of interesting, we can have like a damage velocity which will be combined with the normal velocity. So what we'll do is we'll come down here and we'll make a vector, or SF vector 2F damage. So damage knockback. And so we have this damage knockback. This damage knockback will be right there. And basically what will happen is we will have it so that our damage knockback is constantly being adjusted. So our damage knockback will be constantly reduced. If this damage knockback dot x is less than 0. And of course we can make that a little bit smaller, that way we get smoother effects as well as more precise numbers can be used. Because if we use something big like 1 and then we use a decimal up here, it's going to look really, really weird. We don't want that. So let's see how this looks. A little too much there. So let's go through and change that to like 1, and we'll do 1 and 1 as well here. Probably going to want to delete that test save file as well again, because I don't know if that's going to be too much damage. So let's see here. It's really strange, we shouldn't be going that much. Let's see. Let's keep getting higher. 5. It's greater than 0, we add on that. Make that a little bit smaller. That's a little too small. That. It's just really going to be playing with values now. Let's raise that to 0.4. also want to do is if this velocity.y is greater than 0, and that'll make sure that we that when we're falling down and such. So now we kind of have a max height we can be hit at, which means we can go ahead and lower this down. So let's go do that. Let's make that like 4. That should hopefully fix that. And then we're going to do the same thing for the x's. So in this case, x, x, and we're going to need to do the same thing though for the opposite directions, however. So if this is less than 0 and our knockback is greater than 0, then we also want to fix that there. Basically what this does is that you notice before I pushed forward but I was still being knocked back. We basically want to have it so that if we do that, and actually a better way to handle this is really going to be to do ABS, the absolute value of that is less than, let's say, 1. And we're pressing a keyboard key. So let's see where our keyboard keys are, right here. Got a new line for readability. So if the absolute value of our velocity, because we want a certain amount of knockback to always be able to happen. So let's make that like 3 and 3. Lower it down just a bit. Lower this down to 2.5, or raise it, I guess. And then raise that to like -0.5. Make it a little higher. That's a little too high. Oh. this nice little effect when we walk over to it right now. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to get it so when I jump on it, it does a similar effect. So really what we'll probably want to do is set this velocity.y is equal to 0. And that'll help to make sure that when we land on it, we're automatically reset. Probably even help that by setting the x to 0 as well. And then we'll set the jump as well to 0 again. And that'll let us to be able to go back and jump over it when we get damaged. And of course you can speed jump over it. So yeah. So we have that. We have the ability to swim now. We have water, we have lava, NPCs, anything else that we really need right now? That I can think of. Alright. Let's go through now, and the last few things that are going to be needed before this is a complete game, at least in my personal opinion. First off, I need to add in the ability to do some kind of collection. So right now, the biggest thing that we are missing is, you know, you go through and you play the game, there isn't a whole lot to do outside of maybe, like, I don't know, being able to get damaged by something, which is something we still need to add in. So we should go through and we need to go through real quick, first of all, and add in some kind of mechanism for getting damaged by enemies. So let's go through and do that real quick. So what we'll want to do, if check collision, and where it's basically going to be similar to, looks like I got rid of that. So basically, we'll want to actually come down here. So, first things first, let us find our enemies right here. That's not the right section. Well, actually, we want mob. So, I think we actually went through and made them all the same ID, so group 5. So case 5, break, and in this case, we'll want to have a similar effect from there. Go through now and double check this. So that'll allow us to get damaged by them. The other thing that we're going to want to do is, so we have the ability to be damaged there. The other thing though is you'll notice that everything still animates when we go there. So we want to add the ability to pause all the animations. So let me see, where did I do pause? Did I have that boolean for pause? So let's go through and we'll add in main game, and call it an update. So that'll prevent the tiles from being updated. And then for entities, we'll want to have a similar thing. Animate. Well, actually, what we're really going to want is over in our entity manager to have that. So here. So if we want to animate everything, then we do that there. And that'll let us go through and quickly and easily pause animations. So that all works. We'll also want to go through for our collisions with enemies and probably lower this to like 2 or so. We don't want it to be as knockbackish as the lava. So the lava is supposed to be more of an obstacle, whereas the characters, while an obstacle, are not as big of one. So there's all of that. And of course we can do some other stuff with that. For now, what we're going to do is, now that we have enemies and stuff, let's go through now. Oops, Twitch message. So let's go through now, and what we'll want to do is, this is going to be our live system. We're going to want to remove a life each time. So let's come here and do lives. What we had, we do not. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to use the lives as our health system. So we will need to, no. What we'll do is we'll just add a health system to it, a basic health value to it. So int health. And the health for this is going to be set up here. Set right in here. This health is equal to 3. And this lives. Up here. Set value. Set value. Make that inline there to this. Oops. Add one more there. So there's that. And here, all the way to the bottom. Now let us go through, and you'll see the lives in the top right. And as we go through and we get damaged, we're able to do that and get a game over now. So we have all of that all set. So we can of course set our main guy's health to something a little higher. Also, we're going to want to set the font for that to be a nice, much better color. Color to SF, color, black. Do the same thing for score. So there's that. And again, if we come over here and we get hit by this guy, whoops, lost a lot of health there. Let's try this again. So we need to make sure as well that this guy does bounce back just as much. Otherwise, we will be too close. So the reason that that is happening is because our mob is checking for that, but he's not checking for his direction. So what we want to do is, first of all, we want to have two separate methods for this. One for the left, one for the right. So for the left, we can take out this here, and take out this here. And what we want to do is check this velocity, make sure that everything there does not get messed up. Dot x is less than 0. So that'll basically check that we're also moving to the left. And then again, right here, we'll do the same thing, except we'll make sure that we are going to the right. And that will, of course, make make sure that that doesn't happen anymore. So now we have our perfect ability to do that. Whoops. That's a new one. I think that our health is being manipulated. So let's try this again. Uh-oh. Lava's not looking too good. So again, we're going to want to make sure that for the lava that we are bounced up enough. That's probably going to be way too much, but we'll give it a shot just to see how fun it is. There's that. Delete that save file. That we are not affected by gravity for that period of time. That way we keep bouncing back. Our max gravity is. I should probably look at that. That'll at least make that go a little faster. Let's see how that looks. Down, we're going to jump, hit on the lava, and then we're going to be able to watch our velocities. So right now it's 4, -4, -2, -3.98. And our health still going back. Still there. Let's try this again, because that was not supposed to happen. And suddenly it all works. Interesting. Let's see here. So we collide with the lava. We get our knockback for the Y. Let's go ahead and do that. Reset the velocities and the jump to 0. Let's go through and see if this looks. So what we'll do is if we won't knock them back if they're jumping in the air. It'll be like a Mario type thing. actually, I'm really gonna want to do, let's do something like that. It's equal to -1. Equals 0, then we do that. Which means, rather than needing a whole vector for our knockback, we can just use that. That. Got the Y. And now we have a nice little knockback effect, assuming that I can stop messing up. Nice little knockback for lava. So, we have that. Now I will say, other thing I want to do is only set that. That. Cool. So we have the ability now to do that. Alright. Oh, man. We have our health capabilities finally. So we can actually do something with the game now. Set his health to 10. because if he's jumped onto the lava, he should be able to keep doing that. Actually, we're going to want the jump to actually become 1 if he's still going. So that'll let little things like that happen. Now we'll probably want that knockback to be a little bit more forceful. Really not a whole lot to do there. Except maybe to do like equal to -3, for example, here. And that'll make the initial knockback, well, not -3, whatever we set that to. And that'll knock it back at least a little bit more to start with. So now we get this nice effect where, you know, if they let go a little bit sooner, it'll at least do that. So, now that we have that, let's go swim through here. So there's that. Trying to think of what else to go ahead and add in here. That's really a lot of the main stuff that I've wanted to get into here so far. Another thing I can think of is kind of want to so let's go through now and let's update this. Add in a ninja here. So let's come over to here. We will copy the idle ninja tile for now. So we don't really need anything else. Well, can we? Yeah, no, we can't. So we'll do that. By default, that'll go through. Let's upload the new version of the level. Whoops. Uh-oh. Let's reset that. Walking away up there. Why is there a guy walking up there? Let's see here. That when he gets there, guy somewhere. Let's see here. And that tile number is... Let's see here. So that's that. NPCs. Mob 88. 175. Two of them. Says there's another one somewhere. Ah, there he is. Ta-da! You'll notice that they are all able to automatically detect their collisions and such. You know, we don't have to worry about things like, you know, they're already able to automatically walk back and forth between only ground tiles. So there's not a whole lot more that we have to do with them. The only thing left now is to add in things like, so the only big things we'll want to add in now are like different characters and different mob abilities and stuff. So let's go through now, and the only big thing left is item collection. Okay. Alright. So, this is where we stand. We have our nice little water, our little smart ninja guys who are able to walk back and forth between things. We have parallax scrolling backgrounds. We have lava that can damage you. We can shoot shurikens that rotate a little bit. We have these guys that we can talk to. So, a few different things I could do right now. Could add in... Could add in an item collection for quest and stuff. What else could we do? So what we'll do is we will have the score based on certain tasks that you do. Kind of like that idea. Originally the idea was going to be to use a bear and guava fruit. I think I'm only going to have time now for the guava fruit. So I have this image from online. What I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as our main little thing. So I'm going to export that. GitHub. graphics, sprites, guava, PNG, and we're going to make this 64 by 61, and coming to here, coming to tiled now, and what we'll be able to do is we will add in a new section of collectibles. And collectibles is going to just be another set of things. What I'm going to want to do is come to sprites, take out lava. The big thing that we're going to want to do is object. We're going to group those together. Take all of that, delete, delete. Again, take all that, group. That's not what I wanted. Export, place, move that, add that back in. Still got that like white portion to it. Ah, there it goes. And then 64 by 60. So now we have these little guava fruits we can add in there. And so this is going to be part of the collectibles section. So let's go back over to map, just right there. Close that for now. So map, we have int collect style start. Okay. And if main collectibles okay. Okay, so there's that. If that is greater than -1. There's that. case, we will be using this. What we'll do for now is we'll let it create a mob, but we're going to go back and change that. So that should create a new monster right by the first tree on the leftmost. So it should create one right there, and it did not. So let's see what's going on. Mosquito got in my house. Ah, the reason for that is to be that. Did I totally mess this up? I did. That would be why. It should be down here. What tile set? So by default, it's just going to create another mob there. At least that's the goal. And it works. So now what we can do is we can start adding in collectible stuff. This will have different effects. So this is going to have different effects on what items the player has. So when we talk to different people, different things will happen. Maybe we just give scores based on that. So yeah. Apparently my quality has gone down. I'm not really sure what's going on with that. Let me see here real quick. I'm getting... Alright. So, here's where we are at so far. So we have the ability, that's technically a fruit. We have our ninjas here. And now let's go through and get our nicer entities. So, first off, it's a new filter. Collectibles, hopefully that's spelled right, probably not though. New item, what this is going to be is the first one is just going to be our guava. And the guava is going to actually just have a similar layout to the NPCs. The difference is entity guava, and guava. We have our X and Y. base NPC right there. We'll go ahead and add a collectible class, actually, just go all out. So there's that. Base NPC will be our baseline for it. Won't need speech. We'll need graphics, we'll need all of that. Not need that, not need that. And then we'll come down here, entity, new item. Collectible, then get our base NPC, put that there, except now it's going to be collectible. Again, no need for that. Move that from here. That group ID will be, I guess, 5. Can't remember what all I used. So. In this case, this is located in Guava. Wait for any of that now. There's that, and this group ID is equal to 5. Here. That. There's our nice little guava. The only downside right now is that we are dying from it. So let's go see what's going on with that. Probably because of the group ID we're using. Yep, case 5. So we don't want it to be 5. We actually want it to be 6. So let's double check that. Mob 2. Yep, so that needs to be 6. And then the base collectible we will set out to be 6 as well. And then what will happen is TNT, destroy. And then this, health plus equals 1. So if we get hurt, we can use that as our health. So now if we come over here and we grab it, you'll notice that that goes back up. So now the last thing I want to do is I want to move the text over just a little bit. See how all that works. Grab that, get our health back up. Now, a few big things that we're going to want to do as well, and this will be kind of a cool thing that we'll be able to do. I don't know how easy it's going to be to do so, though. Let's see, do we already have a deconstructor for the map? We do. Maybe this will work then. This. There we go, begin. How do I use it? I can never remember the type. Oh, it's just auto? Okay, that works. That's kind of convenient. I forgot about that. Yeah. So we got to go through and delete every other second item, which is a reference there, and then we can clear that out. So we have all those gone. We need to do the same thing for flip tiles. Background textures deleted, right? Background, yep. Oh, we need to delete the texture and the background texture. Map, tile, map tiles and background, map tiles and background. There's that. And that should be good for our memory management. Let's take a quick look at that. What we're going to do is open up Task Manager. So it seems to be okay. It's a little bit higher than I'd like, but it's not too bad. Now it's definitely not freeing something, so we need to go through and double check that everything. So let's go to main guy. Let's see, entity manager, that's freed separately, that's freed separately. Main game, music should be getting rid of, right? Yep, it's all getting rid of. And we're stopping the music, we're getting rid of the map, such, right? Yep. No, not deleting the map. So you need to make sure that we delete the map. Delete this map. The manager is being deleted. There's that. Score and lives should be. Yep, score and lives, pause text and font. Speech is not, so we need to delete speech. Okay. There's all of that. Let's go ahead and load it up again. So there's our game right there. Let's double check memory usage. Best. Oh. Something crashed. So, somewhere in here we got a crash. Let's go through and figure out where. So that's fine. Ah, there's our problem. So that's crashing. So let's go through here. Make sure we get to there. Yep, that's fine. Ah, that's where our problem is coming in. So, we know that it's somewhere in there. Ah, flip tiles. There we go. Okay, so now that that's there, let's bring that up. Bring up our task memory management stuff. Right there. So it looks about average to be 97. Make sure we never get over 100 megs. So it looks like we still have a memory leak. It's a very, very small one, so it could be the font bug that I noticed a little bit earlier. Got a comment. Thank you, Jewish Online. Really appreciate you saying that. I hope you guys like them, and again, if there are improvements I can make, please don't even hesitate to ask. I'm doing this for you guys, so of course any improvements I can make are always, I'm always willing to do my best to do so. So thank you, thank you again. So let's go through and get this memory management, and have a good night. Sorry. Let's see, memory management. Where are we forgetting stuff? We're releasing the background music from our main game. That's a good question. Let's go to their states, main menu, and then come here, states, main menu. So we need to make sure we're releasing all of our sounds there. So we're stopping our music, font, title, play, quit, font, title, play, quit. Our buffer set, all that's going away. So that's all good. So that's all good for our main game as well. So it is probably either going to be a bug, or we should go through and double check all of our sub-objects again. So the map looks fine, so let's go through and check main guy. Main guy has 2 pointers, denoted by the stars there. So Aha. That's our problem. So you'll notice that, well, actually no, both of those are managed outside of there, so we don't actually need to get rid of that. Coming in here, there's nothing in entity that suggests we need to get rid of memory, so the only other places it can be are some of our other entities. So let's go through and check real quick. We have mob1, which doesn't seem to have anything special, so that doesn't look like it's it, most likely. That doesn't either. Nothing there, and nothing there. So guava, again, nothing there. Nothing for our mobs, we've already been through those, that's right. Close those up. NPC, map is going to be deleted on its own. Speech is deleted separately as well. Bullet, map is deleted separately, so we don't need to worry about that. Again, map is deleted separately. Map is deleted separately, so we don't need it there. That's fine as well. That's fine as well. And we need to double check our speech texture. So let's go through now and check on speech. So this is where it looks like our problem is. So let's go through and let's go through and do this. So to delete the texture, and that's it. So that might be where our last little memory bug is. So let's shrink that up. Again, bring up the task manager. So there's our game right there. 97. Make sure it doesn't get to 100 there. So 97.2, so it looks like all of our memory bugs are fixed. The nice thing, I saw something there. Oh, it went down. So yeah, basically what we're checking on is this little number right here. You'll notice that when I close the game and I go to the main menu, the memory will change around. And the reason for that is, basically it's how much memory we're using with like graphics loaded and stuff. So it is growing and shrinking a little bit, however that can be usually attributed to the OS. You know, it's not something we're going to worry about too much. I'm basically trying to keep it at under 100 megs altogether. And it does look like it might have grown a little bit. Yeah, so it's still growing a little bit. That's something I should obviously keep an eye out for.